Welcome back, adventure riders. Another Sedlak Off-Road School adventure motorcycle off-road riding tip. And today we want to talk about the proper seating position. Right? We talk a lot about riding standing up because obviously riding off-road, you have to stand up a lot. Today we're going to take a closer look at where you want to sit on the bike and how you want to sit on the bike to keep proper control. So obviously when you're sitting down, you're working with a lot of mass. And if you look at the bike from the side here, you can see this is the seat where you're sitting. Your engine, your fuel tank is in front of the seat, right? So when you're sitting on the bike, you have to make sure that you get your weight on top of that, the main weight of the bike, right? So on top of the engine, on top of the fuel tank. If you sit too far back, and you can tell here just with the bike on the center stand, the further back you sit, the lighter the front end gets, right? So if I sit too far back, one, there's not a lot of traction on the front end, so we'll just push through the turns. Two, I have to reach for my handlebars. So now I'm sitting here, my elbows are all the way stretched out, the front end's pushing, I have nowhere to go, right? I'm just trapped in this position. So you want to make sure you really slide into that tank, slide forward, keep your chest and your shoulders forward and your elbows slightly up. So now you're on top of the weight, the bike becomes a lot more nimble and you can work with the bike. What we see a lot of riders do is they scoot up on the bike, but then they find themselves in this position, just tucked in behind the handlebars. The elbows are down and they're just sort of hunched over. And from here, you just don't have any leverage. You don't have much control of the bike. So when the front end goes, you just follow that front end and you go down. So you want to make sure you really get on top of the weight, get on top of the handlebars, and then control the bike from there. It will make turning a lot easier. So now you're in that position, right? Your chest is forward, your shoulders are forward, your elbows are slightly up. One point that a lot of riders miss is to have solid contact with your foot peg and your thighs on the bike, right? Your inner thighs, that's where you control the bike. We always talk about controlling the bike from your first point of contact, which is at the foot peg, right? First point of contact, lowest point of contact. So you have the most impact down there. Inner thighs. So if you want to turn the bike to the left, my right leg is going to push into the bike a little bit. That will initiate that turn. And now my upper body is just controlling, turning the bike around. Then at that point, my left leg, my inside leg will give the bike a little bit of a push. It will come back up. And now it's really easy for me to control the bike with my legs and my upper body in the right spot. I don't have to worry about too much. And the bike becomes really nice and nimble. Okay? So one question that we get a lot of this is, what if I ride sand? Do I have to be further back? And the answer is not really, right? Because the bike's already so heavy, you need to bring your weight forward. Yes, in the sand, you're not going to lay on your handlebars like that. But what you don't want to be doing, especially in the sand, is just being back here. Your arms are all the way extended out. No control of the bike from back here. The front end's just going to push, and you're just going to, wiggle your way through the sand with no control. So always make sure you bring your weight forward, you get in front, make sure you stabilize that front tire, and then in the sand, it's just a little bit more work with your throttle. You pick the throttle up a little bit, the bike will stabilize, and we'll get your turn done. So this is it for today's adventure motorcycle off-road riding tip. Weight transfer towards the front of the bike is really important. Making sure you're on top of the bars in that position will change your riding entirely. So make sure you really focus on that. Again, a really easy riding technique to practice. You can get into that position even if you're riding on the street, and instantly you will just feel how much easier it is to turn the bike. Don't be afraid to bring too much weight to the front end of the bike. A lot of people are worried about washing the front end. It's going to stick. You have so much weight here. Take that weight to your advantage. If you guys like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Every week, we're going to drop new adventure bike and enduro riding tips. We're looking forward to seeing you again next week.